That is a very real photosensitivity warning. So just so you know. Anyway, this is Vampire Survivors. Vampire Survivors is good. I have largely 100% of this. Here are the various characters that I've unlocked. There's like the 3 DLC things that I have because they cost $1. One of them is a Among Us crossover, which I've kind of just started in on. And then there's still a couple of characters that I don't have because I was unlocking everything else because they're really expensive. And that cost scales up, and now it's ridiculous. But one thing that they've added to this recently is this thing called Adventure Mode, where, let me just start one of these. Like, I feel like everybody has some experience with this game, or should, because there's like a free web version of it. But yeah, the Adventure Mode thing they added recently. Let me get some stuff here. That'll do. They added some stuff recently, like this Adventure Mode thing, which is kind of like starting the whole game over again, but with like a different unlock path, forcing you into certain play styles, which is. And yeah, it's one of those games where it's like you start playing this, you're gonna gut it, and then you're gonna go to sleep, and it's gonna be like 4 days later. But yeah, the Adventure Mode is like, well, here's the first thing he did of forcing you to play the character starts with garlic, and well, I should show off. Yeah, here's the unlock requirements of just like spending X amount of time in these, get some characters out of coffins. Find some other items so you don't have just garlic. But yeah, this is also basically how you want to like start. Honestly, when you like first. Oops. Hang on. I didn't turn on all my stuff. Oh well, it's fine. I don't need all my stuff turned on. This menu here is something you have to like play a bit to get, but basically. At the one I have like the most passive of weapons. It's just like I have a damage aura. But yeah, the way this works is more garlic. Just kind of we have some nice little 2D art, which is no longer just ripped out of Castlevania games like it was when the game was new. I mean, yeah. And there's kind of an endless stream of monsters coming from the sides of things. There's a kind of actually sprawling map, which has some items in like very hard to reach places on it by default, which you don't see at first, so you just think it might just like be this looping couple of screens or something. Monsters get more intense over time. It's kind of like not dissimilar from Risk of Rain, except the Risk of Rain games are very like hardcore action games that like require a lot of skill, and here my controls are move left, right, up, down. That is it. All the weapons, whether they're this passive or slightly less passive, just kind of like automatically attack at whatever pace you feel like doing. I mean, yeah. So here, like, this is kind of showing off one of the more passive starts, but like, there's another character starts with the whip, and you just like attack with this little whip right in front of you every like second or two. So there's a little bit of like gameplay in positioning yourself right, but mostly it's just like, don't get stepped on by things. If a boss manages to die, then they drop treasure. Treasure will randomly upgrade a thing that you have already. I will show off something more active than this after this, too. Otherwise, when you level up, you have a choice between 3 or 4 things, which are going to be weighted towards upgrading what you already have. Case in point. Or giving you new things. Oh, there we go. Like those big back clouds when I have something like garlic like this that's just always on. Yeah, let's do something else. Yeah, this is a little bit less passive. So this is my little bird friend that just kind of circles around, and if you... I mean, you have to look kind of carefully, but there's that little circular reticle that's just like cycling around me. I can't control how that spins, I can't control when that fires, but like, I can kind of... get some practice in like knowing what the arc is going to be and like what the time is going to be, and try to keep it actually hitting things. But this is also like the introduction to the adventure mode where it's just like, here, have garlic. Garlic is good. Garlic is particularly good in this level because it's just like mobs of these bats that are just like kind of absurdly dense. Like, my damage output is low, but these have like 1 HP, there's just like 50,000 of them. But this is, if I recall, the actual first level here, out of several, which, different levels actually in this, you know what, sure. The different levels in this actually have, like, very different vibes to them, and, like, different strategies that work out in them. Oh, well, fine. That was me not paying attention. So just going into the game proper, let's see, where's a more active character? Okay, yeah, the one you actually start with, sure. The whip and which of these many levels is whip friendly? Yeah, the library's not bad. And yeah, those are things I like to have on, sure. Usually a good start. So yeah, the whip is like horizontal lines. Not always on constantly. So there's a little bit more positioning strategy. And I have a couple... Oh, the other whip, sure. I have a couple levels in just base stat experience gem collecting. That's a weird one. That's new. But yeah, this is this thing of like, okay, you get 6 weapon slots and 6 non-weapon slots. You have to unlock them blind, but eventually you find out that there are these evolution combos. So if I have the whip at level 8 and at least 1 hollow heart here, then there's a chance of a chest giving me the evolved version of the whip, which is very good to have, generally speaking. I forgot, this is kind of one of the easier levels, too. So sometimes, like, there's not a lot of encouragement to, like, move from where you start, because, like, they will come to you. But, if you look here, like, there are some other items, if I go one way or the other down this hallway by a lot. And some of those are like, this will unlock a new character if you pick it up. Also, like, sort of a little challenge involved picking it up. Yeah, sure. these plants because I had this like random events thing turned on, which mixes stuff up a little bit. But yeah, as I was saying, so you got the 6 slots of each type that fill up. And one interesting thing is if you were on a level like basically every level really, where there are some items just on the floor, if you have filled up all your slots and pick one of those up, you can just have a bonus slot for that thing that was on the floor. So there's sometimes a weird strategy of like, like say here, there's the book there, which I think is shorter cooldowns, which is nice to have in general, but if I avoid just like picking up and level up at any point until I have gotten all of my subslots in there filled in, then just, okay, that's just a free extra on top of everything else, which isn't bad. And there are some, like, later things here that get actually challenging. Yeah, that's it. Where, like, some of the boss fights, like, have teeth and, like, really need you to, like, carefully dodge. Oh, this is my bats. Really need you to carefully dodge around. More experience is good. But it's kind of a semi-mindless game, and it's like, much like the Risk of Rain games, it's one of those things where you either hit a point where you cannot keep up with the intensity of what's coming at you, or you really, really, really can, and the game just like breaks wide open, and you can just like stand there and take your hands off the controls, and everything dies. It is significantly easier to hit a point like that in this than it is in Risk of Rain. Especially 2. That's okay. Sometimes you just want to, like, just kind of, just cascade out of control. It's relaxing in its way. But it is a game that once you start playing, it's very, very hard to stop, especially because, like, there are a lot of things to unlock. There's extra levels, extra modes, extra characters, different kinds of weapons, a bunch of, like, weird secret stuff, little optional side features, like the, So, yeah, that is what I need to evolve that, and I could get that, but I could also just, like, walk to the left a bit and pick some up. So let me fill these other slots and then do that, I think. I'll take wings. Yeah, that's all my slots filled now. I'll just get stuff that I already have. And so, some of the strategy is like, what do I want, when do I want it too? Because you basically always will get offered some just more levels than you already have. And usually, like, the way things cascade out of control, more levels than you already have is better than new stuff. So it's nice to kind of concentrate that. But then you can, you know, do what I'm doing right now and just, like, cheesing it for extra item slots. Should also give you an idea of how large the levels actually are, because I'm going to be walking to the left for a while here. I should probably grab that turkey there. And I'm taking the extra attraction at this point, because, like, things are dying kind of far from me. And it's nice to not have to actually, like, walk over and get them, and just have everything just kind of suck into you if you're trying to, like, get to a place, which I am currently trying to do. Also, if anything, like, scrolls outside of the screen, it will come back on the other side of the screen. Is generally how that works. And then event going off. You can see how, like, once things start escalating, they really start escalating. Most runs end with you, like, kind of stuck in one spot, afraid to move at all because, like, you're just being totally bombarded. Hopefully have some, like, point-blank range thing that will help a bit. Like, I have the wonderfully named Santa water here, which makes these little flames that tend to knock stuff back. And sometimes chests do this. And you get 3 or 5 items at once. Plus a ton of money. But no choice what they actually are. Speaking of extra money. The bat weapon there was added in recently. I'm not sure how I feel about it yet. Okay, so here's that book. I have to cool down. And you can see it just like added another row there because there was no room for it. Is there more that I missed somewhere? Sure were. Let's see, whips out. I do want to show off the whole evolution thing. And sometimes you start going up levels quickly too, especially when you do what I'm doing. Get the crown there maxed out. This is a little absurd, but this is how the skin goes. Okay, that's enough leveling for now. There's another freebie, just adds to the stack. So another thing that I don't, well, I'm not going to show off right now because I'm full up on stuff, but on most maps, there's this particular set of items that spawn way up in the corners, 2 rings and 2, like, halves of this clasp thing, which cause particular items to evolve if you have them and max them out, which totally break the game. Like, one gives you, like, half the HP on everything, and one gives you, like, literal invincibility for a large stretch after getting hit, which let you, well, you'll see at the end. Or you won't see at the end, but I'll explain it then. Yeah, you can see that I have like the Santa water at level 8 and also some area upgrades for it. It's just kind of like coating the floor in flames at all times, which is handy. Purple chests are more of these Arcana here, which do things. None of these things especially interest me. Reroll those. Have those, don't have those. Eh. That'll be handy. Maybe. But yeah, as this goes on, it gets kind of absurd in many ways. Oh, apparently, like, 2 treasure chests dropped that I didn't even notice over here. So let me start making my way back towards those. I think I have enough things maxed up that I'm probably due for an evolution now. Yes, that is the lightning ring evolving. So you'll see the lightning getting significantly more intense now. I really want to show off the whip thing. Okay, yeah, so there's the one for the, like, basic starting whip, which now also has, like, HP absorb and this, we see the red slashes that are, like, huge. Yeah. And now I'm kind of maxing everything out. Yeah, it's like the last upgrade I actually can get at the moment. So now it's just, okay, do you want money from here on out, or food, or to, like, pick every level up? I'll just take the money. And if I, like, get a new item somehow, then I'll go back to the old choices. Basically, this is what winning looks like right here. It's not particularly hard to do either. This is a special mini boss because I am near one of those corner items I mentioned. Which I could pick up, I don't wanna. Though. Yeah, the silver whip there is interesting because the way that evolves is you have to have the other whip evolve first, and then the two combined into this, which is very good. And also, since they combine, that frees an item slot up again, so next time I go up a level, I'll get an actual choice again. Sure. I'm not gonna quickly max this out, because this is happening. Make sure it's actually maxed. So I'll grab that treasure chest there. There we go. There's a couple of things that have to evolve still too, never mind. So the bats have been replaced with oh, huge bats sometimes, okay. Well, and these are my illusions from that shirt that I picked up just now. So, like, at this point, nothing can get near me, and I can just, like, sit back, have a drink. Stand here and passively collect stuff. Or I can just, you know, keep going around. Oh, there's more treasure chests over here dropped at some point, because, like, bosses died that I didn't even notice. No, this probably just all the things I don't have yet. Or all the thing. Oh, the girl might actually like be one of those ones that takes more than one. Let me check. This is nothing you get after a while. It's just here are all the evolution combos. Oh no, okay, just didn't feel like giving it to me. Never mind. There's some random things to that. Well, it's like literally the only thing they can give you. I guess the phaser hasn't involved it either. Does it only involve one per chest even with one of these chests? Oh, that idea. Okay. That makes sense. So that thing about the flashing lights, like, if you have photosensitivity issues, you might want to wait until this is done. There's one of those items that's always in the map that I'm just not going to grab. Mostly because, like, they're in these pairs. One of them is, like, here, this gives you, like, a passive bonus every level up to every stat. And one of them is, here, this gives the enemies a passive bonus every level up to every stat. And it's always hard to remember which ones are which. What does this do? Okay. Metal clubs do stuff. Okay. Yeah, if I get the two items that like combo with those, then you have to get that maxed out plus the rings or clasps maxed out, which is how some evolutions work. Most of them are just like have at least one, but you know. Okay, now I'm actually done getting new stuff. Splash this there. Get more. Get anything for me. But yeah, what happens is after a certain amount of time in a level, and it depends based on the level, eventually the Grim Reaper shows up to just like end your run. But if you have the like momentary invincibility thing in particular, and also the things that have half the HP thing, it's possible to straight up kill death. And there are various things unlocked from that. But you get to keep playing for a while, and then eventually there is Super Death, who will just like cutscene, end level, and kill you. But it's an interesting little variable to like reach and surpass. And you don't strictly need those item combinations to do it. It's just much, much easier with them. If your damage is really, really absurd, then like yeah, you can just fairly kill death. Although the like teleport right on top of you and like do infinite damage thing is kind of hard to do without the defensive combo there. There are ways around that too. There's like an item that will like freeze things when it hits them, and like you do have a frame or two when death first shows up where that's an option. Actually, I think that was the item you need for that, though, or at least the main one. But anyway, yeah, this is what doing well on Main vs. Survivors looks like. Yeah, I don't actually do that. Yeah, I will fight the boss guarding the other one. And again, like, this isn't me being tremendously skilled at the game. It's just kind of an easy game. It does take a while to get to the point where you, like, know the item combos well enough to understand what will get you to this state in a reasonable amount of time. Because, like, if you don't get to the point where you're just doing basically infinite damage to everything on screen at all times, then, like, having stuff flood in this fast is kind of gonna, like, instantly game over you. But if you get a bunch of weapons evolved, this tends to be how it goes. So basically what I'm saying is the strategy is, like, evolve your stuff. But, like, getting to where you can do that requires you to either, like, look up a guide or look into it, or, I believe there's an item that you find that will start, like, telling you the combos. Oh, even I think you have to, like, find them on your own first. And then, yeah, this happens. Also, the expansion systems are interesting because, like, what they do, aside from, like, you know, each adding in, like, a dozen new characters and weapons, is, they only add one new map each, but they're, like, high-effort maps, where instead of the monsters coming in on timers where it's like, okay, now it's time for the Medusa heads. Now it's time for the ghosts. It's like, no, here's an actual like map with like buildings and like themed areas, and like here's little underground tunnel where like the skeletons live, and here is like the big castle with the Oni in it, and here is like the science lab with one of the Among Us's. There's apparently a treasure chest over here. I saw an arrow. Oh, there it is. Okay. So yeah, I've got like 5 seconds left on this, I think. And then everything else disappears, and then the Grim Reaper just like, boom. And yeah. There's some stats. And back to the title screen, and then you can just throw back into it. So that's Vampire Survivors. It also has a big, huge bestiary of all of the things, which if I go through here slowly, like, originally they literally were just stealing sprites from Castlevania when this was like first up as a free, was it Flash or like HTML5 game? Which it still is up as, but at a certain point they realized like, okay, we will get sued, but let's draw our own versions of these things, thanks. And here's the Trans Witch, who's also a playable character that you can unlock. Yeah, there's a variety of enemies, it turns out. You know, minor spoiler, but there are various flavors of death. Mostly show up in like the last level, and then they kind of form Voltron as the final boss, which is actually like a proper action challenge. And apparently there are a couple of things I have not seen yet. Because oh yeah, there've been a ton of free updates to this game too, on top of the dirt cheap expansions. There's also a whole like list of super secret things here, which I'm going past very quickly on purpose, that require you to either do something really obscure or like type in a password. That's stuff that I still need to do in the new expansion. Let me not hide the completed ones. And okay, yeah. So here are some things that you can unlock from playing this game for like, you know, just 10 or 20 minutes. 1 or 2 of these per run, and like you just saw a good run. It's like they're not super hard to get into. When you have a really good one going, you can literally just like walk away and just stand there while everything dies. So like the I'll just play one more quick session and get some more stuff factor is very, very, very high. And this is a game that like when you first get it, it will kind of destroy your life for a week or two. But hopefully by then you'll have everything unlocked, because it doesn't take that long. And yeah, it's a nice little, like, I got a few minutes, I want to play an easy game and do really good sort of thing. It's good. It's also really, really cheap, and then sell the free version. Anyway, that's that.